And joining us in studio is our defense correspondent, Jonathan Regev, and also Palestinian security analyst, Mohammed Najib. Mohammed, let's start with the Palestinian reaction to these measures and the impact that you see having, especially on relations between the Palestinians and Israel.
Yes, Calev, the Palestinian Authority is strongly shocked by the quick measures that taken by the Israeli ministers. In the first week of its formulation, Itamar ben-gvir visited Al-Aqsa Mosque on last Tuesday. On a Thursday, he went to Nafha, a prison, and asked to restrict the treatment of the Palestinian prisoners. And on a Friday, imposed punitive measures against the Palestinian Authority, which is the most important, is the seize of the money, the freeze of the money of the Palestinian Authority. Beside the 200 million shekels that they confiscate every month since November 21, and make the Palestinian Authority unable to pay except 80% of the salaries of its 170,000 employees. The Palestinian Authority suffer from financial crisis, and this will complicate and double its crisis and threat its collapse because of this financial crisis.
Jonathan, this government did say it was going to take a different policy, but I think the speed in which they've done it and some of the measures and even steps that we've seen have caught some observers by surprise.
Yes, and the question is, should have everybody been caught by surprise? The man in charge of the money is Bezalel Smotrich, and
the new finance minister.
The new finance minister. This is what his voters, I think, would expect him to do. Is this what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu really wants to see? The answer is probably no. But Netanyahu understands very well that he depends on Smotrich. We're speaking of a broad coalition, 64-member coalition. That's very nice. Take away Bezalel Smotrich and his party, we're down to 57. Take away Itamar Ben-gvir and his party, we're down to 57. So Benjamin Netanyahu strongly depends on these people. These people who, you can agree or disagree with the Israeli finance minister saying, we'll keep this money because this is money that we should actually pay the terror victims instead of give it to the Palestinian Authority, which will only give it to terror perpetrators. Others can agree or disagree with the fact that the Minister of National Security goes to the Temple Mount. Israel says, you know what, this is no change in the status quo. This is the status quo allows ministers to ascend to the Temple Mount. You can agree with that. You can disagree with that. The one thing that is clear, these are senior members of the Israeli cabinet, and the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who I'm quite sure is not very happy with these moves, depends on these people.
Right. Well, let disagree with it. Certainly in the Palestinian camp, that is the case. How do you think this? Where do you think this is leading toward? How do you think that the Palestinians are going to respond, Mohammed?
Yeah, the Palestinian Authority cannot stop its actions to go to the international courts or international organization against the Israelis, because this is the only thing that can do. It cannot tell its people it cannot do anything handicapped. But also, I think the Palestinian Authority that survived the time when Netanyahu was the Prime Minister 2 years ago, and the late U.S. President Donald Trump now is facing a serious challenge with having Smotrich and Ben-gvir at the government. And I think there is a serious concern that it may collapse, and they are upset. And even the moves by the Israeli ministers angered not only the Palestinian Authority but the Arab countries who have good ties with Israel, Emirates, Jordan, Egypt, the European Union, the United States. So the new Israeli policy and how it's speeded taking these actions concern not only the Palestinian Authority but even the friends of Israel who defend Israel all the time.
Just Mohammed, on the seriousness of the situation for the Palestinian Authority, and the big question is, will we see some kind of violent reaction by some elements in the Palestinian community?
Now there is strong pressure on the Palestinian Authority to stop security coordination with Israel. And during the dark days, during all the crisis from the late Prime Minister Ariel Sharon until Netanyahu, the security continued to cooperate and to keep situation calm on the ground. But now if the security takes in that direction, then I think it will be a problem. So the Palestinian Authority cannot continue to face these measures, punitive measures, without doing things. And also the Palestinian prisoners are preparing for a protestation inside the Israeli jails for the coming weeks. And if that's happened, then the Palestinian streets in the West Bank will revolt and will support them. Then we are going to witness more violence and instability.
Well, we'll have to see what develops in the coming weeks. Mohammed Najib, Jonathan Regev.